PBO, and you thought you could make a video on rules. Well, I'm here to show that you can. And if you're checking the Discord, there's a rules channel. I'm gonna have to edit this. You should click on it because it leads you to this right here. For those that don't read it, I at least expect you to watch, and I think you'll stay for a bit because look at that. So if you scroll down here on the left-hand side of your screen, it's broken up into like 8 sections, but there's a lot of little tabs on the side that we can talk about. So, don't know how long this will be, but enjoy me for what it is. I'm reading everything. Basic information. Welcome to the Pokemon Battle Organization. This is a semi-comp Pokemon draft league that battles through Pokemon Showdown, not a Wi-Fi league. So having fun is the most important thing around here. This league is welcoming to beginners as well as those who are more experienced because of the variety of experience and skill in this league. We offer multiple divisions that give players the most balanced experience for their skill set. There is the beginner, which you've seen Neon, intermediate, sunset, and the most experienced, stargazer. But how do you get in these divisions? Well, we'll find out this later. Above all else, this league prioritizes community and good vibes, but there's a little bit of competition. I mean, if you join the Discord, you know what people are playing for. You know what I mean? We encourage players to build, mock, talk, just have everyone feel comfortable. Very warm, welcoming space that anyone can really hop into and just get a feel for right away, know what we're about. Just this off-season, I've been doing a ton of off-season events, like the random battle tourney we did. Excuse me. We did a random battle tourney. We did not get to do the doubles tourney this off-season, unfortunately. But next off-season, probably. Been doing a ton of movie nights, horror movies, Pokemon movies, action movies. Shouts out Kingsman. Shouts out to my Swedish princesses out there. And yeah, it lets people get involved, lets people talk amongst each other, especially the newer players, like them getting in there. With 14 players per div, there's 42 players active, so I like to get everybody involved. And we honor the PBO in multiple ways. One of these ways is Little Hill. I am Soaring Flying, as you know, but Little Hill in Season 1 was also one to help start the PBO, and without his knowledge and his understanding of the game of Pokemon, I probably wouldn't be here. So in all conferences, there will be many times players will get upset, make mistakes, misplays, and you should probably let them know that respectfully. But calling other players terrible for making a mistake only causes resentment. Making rude comments live during their match will not be tolerated as well. Yeah, I really don't want to harness or even create that type of environment to where it's okay for players to be toxic. I did have something happen in the past season, but ultimately it got talked through and it got worked out, so that was fine. I will never, obviously the first time, warning is like a verbal warning, but every time after that, probably maybe you're the issue, right? I've obviously, we talk about it first and foremost. You talk about it before jumping to conclusions. Written warnings and potential termination from the league may occur. No naming Pokemon anything distasteful. No saying anything distasteful. Just don't be rude. Don't be weird. Don't be racist. Don't be homophobic. Just don't. Why the fuck would you be that anyway? And this next rule is the safety net clause. If any rules are missing, loopholes, or unforeseen action that needs to be taken, mods have the authority to make changes, additions, or removals to these rules at any point to preserve the integrity of the league. And if you are the reason the new rule is made, you might get a new rule named after you. As we get to the bottom of the dock, what rules are named after some people? For example, someone accidentally terras a Pokemon that wasn't supposed to terra. The rules didn't account for a mistake like this. In that case, the mods are allowed to create a new rule to account for this and provide punishment accordingly. Punishment sounds a bit harsh. It's just react accordingly, I think, and react accordingly. I would rather put that and react accordingly. Punishment sounds a bit harsh. Yeah. Shouts out Grammarly. Divisions. Here we are. Beginner Neon, Intermediate Sunset, Experienced Gazer. When you fill out the PBO application, you likely attach a Showdown replay or your Showdown name. And through this, we will look through replays and watch the replay you showed us to see where you probably should be placed in the appropriate wait list. But your division may be temporary because, yes, it is promotion and relegation system, baby. If at the end of the season, some of the top and bottom ranked teams in the division can be promoted. If you're a top team, promoted up. If you're a bottom team, relegated down. This encourages players to play well even after not being locked for playoffs, so that you don't get demoted or relegated, whichever one. It allows players who have drastically improved play. It allows players who have drastically improved to play other players of their skill level because of how divisions are structured. Stargazer players can only relegate. There's no division higher than Gazer. And Neon players can only promote because there's no division lower than Neon. And Sunset players, the top two finalists, make it to the promotion, and the bottom two players demote. And that goes for Neon, Sunset. The top two finalists, number 1 and 2, the runner-up and the finalists. And the two lowest teams will be demoted. Drafting rules. Here in the PBO, as I'm recording this, Stargazer draft is live. It is a mixed draft. And Neon and Sunset will be this Friday, Saturday. So Valentine's Day and the day after. Players are randomly assigned a number that determines their draft order. In the first round of drafting, the first player is selected, then the second, and so on to the last player is drafted. For the second round, drafting order will be reversed. So the 14 and 1 spots, pick 2 ones in a row. This repeats until all players are out of points or room on their roster. The draft will be live. I should put quotation marks there. Draft will be live. Meaning the entire draft process will take place over 2+ hours in a Discord call, which the PBO has always done since Season 1 up until this season. So which Gazer's doing a mixed draft, meaning it starts slow, but will end live on probably this Sunday. We understand that this, because of scheduling, may be difficult, and not everyone may be able to attend. So please, for all you watching who have a board, leave the mods a board, leave me a board. My DMs are always open. Leave a mod your board, so that way we can get through this speedy and efficiently. And if you don't get the mod you want, you can assemble it during grace period. The rosters will be constructed with such 1250 points total for drafting, or 125. 10 to 11 mods total. 2 Terror Captains, and Terra Stellar is legal. You can have a maximum of 2 Terror Captains as long as they fit in the 1250 budget. The B stands for banned. The dash means it's free. Or the dash/0 should mean it's free. Terror Captains are finalized during the grace period, which is explained below. For the first 24 to 36 hours after the initial draft, there will be a grace period in which all players can make unlimited changes to their roster. Did you get sniped? You may qualify for payment. Did you get sniped so many times that was such a bad transition? I was so awkward. Did you get sniped? That sucks. During grace, you can pursue the remaining mons on the draft board and make swaps to get that rapid spinner you may want, like Donphan or Glamora, because it gets Mortal Spin. Once the 24 to 36 hours are up, rosters are locked and Terror Captains are finalized. On to the battle rules. You must build and battle in Gen 9 draft battle format and showdown. This prevents illegal movesets. Duh. General rules. People love testing the rules. Pokemon must be level 100. 6 unique Pokemon must come to the battle. Games are best of 1. All your smogon clauses, but metronome is legal. Baton pass is legal. Dry passing is the only legal thing you cannot pass. Stat boost or substitutes. Excuse me. Hacks, clause, items involving luck as are largely banned. And the list of items are included right there. Other items like these are banned. If you have questions about a specific item, please let us know. Battle timer is based on a mutual agreement. If both players agree to it, it can be on. However, if a game goes on for 80+ turns or 30+ IRL minutes, then the timer must be on. Playoff timer. This is a new rule exclusive to Season 8 and beyond. The timer must be turned on after 100+ turns. I see my fault there. Turns, or 45+ minutes of IRL time. When posting your battles in the Discord, please use the @live battles rule. The forfeit loss has been changed. It's now -3 each time instead of -4, then -5. This is our strike system / forfeit system. It'll go -3 the first time, -3 the second time, and then the final time, if it's a third time, you will be kicked from the league. Complex bans, Last Respects banned, Shed Tail banned, and Shadow Tag / Random Trap are banned. And here is the first one, the Caborta Clause. One that gets looked upon a lot, I would say, in the PBO. So, breaking a battle rule does not mean auto forfeit. Stay with me now. If a battle rule is broken, turn 10 or earlier, the game must be restarted no matter how inconsequential the rule break was. Suppose the rule break occurred after turn 10 and affected the game's outcome. In that case, the game results in an immediate forfeit of the offending coach unless both coaches immediately decide to replay the game in an attempt to return to the original state before the rule break, from which point the game may be played as normal. If the rule break deemed to be accidental and did not affect the game, then the offending player keeps the win assuming they won, and a -2 differential will be applied unless it is playoffs. Multiple offenses stacked, +1 every time. If for some reason it happens 3 times, then you will be kicked. If a rule break affected the game, then it does not count as this and results in a standard forfeit, -3. This will be reviewed by mods and the final decision made by me. Ultimately, it's a case-by-case basis and will be reviewed as such, but that's for gray area, you know. A lot of things happen with nuance. There's nuance to everything. Not everything's black and white, you know what I mean? So it'll be reviewed as such unless it's like set in stone, rule break. Alright, move on. Now, there was an asterisk in there because if you want to replay, RNG may make it difficult for some games to return to their original game state. Because of this, slight deviations from the original game are acceptable, provided both coaches agree to the changes. If you break a rule mid-game, forfeit yourself, and then leave, the result will be X number of mons left in the game opponent-wise. This way, you cannot forfeit the last turn to give your opponent less differential. This overrides the standard forfeit rules in this scenario. Now, on to scheduling. Players will play one battle a week against an opponent in their division. The schedule is determined from the start of the season, so the players will know exactly who they play and when. Weeks begin and end on Sunday at midnight PST, 3 AM EST, so be sure to have your battles in by then. When scheduling an opponent, we recommend reaching out early in the week to set up a time for reaching out early in a week to set a time for the battle that works for both of you. If no time works for the 2 players during that week, extensions are allowed. If you ask an extension into Monday, just let the mods know. You know, no rush, no harm, no foul. An extension into Tuesday and beyond will require approval from mods as well as the next week's opponent because that affects their schedule as well. When a time is finalized, make sure to post the time as well as which teams are playing in the corresponding game times channel on the Discord. This rescheduling game I have to go over because it doesn't come in too often, but you know, we'll talk about it and I'll talk to the mods about it. Rescheduling a game is allowed with the agreement of both parties as long as there are 12 or more hours of notice before the game was originally scheduled. Then there is no punishment. However, if someone asks to reschedule the game with less than 12 hours of notice, then that person receives a -1 to their differential. We understand that life happens and sometimes a game has to be rescheduled, but there also needs to be respect for the other side that took time of their day for the game as well. In Season 6 of the PBO, Season 5 or 6, I'm pretty sure it was 6, we had a lot of reschedules past week 4. A lot of reschedules, some people didn't even show up, which resulted in a lot of forfeit wins, which we're talking about next. You may submit a force win request, if your opponent fails to respond to any attempt to schedule a game, your opponent willingly agrees to grant you a force win, your opponent no-shows or shows up 30+ minutes late, you have made multiple efforts to schedule a game and show availability and your opponent hasn't. So with all this in mind, in Season 6, all this was happening, a good little chunk. I think people maybe got burnt out, they wanted to leave the PBO, one reason or another. So ultimately we had to add in these rules because there was nothing really there. We didn't have to enforce it. I mean, we could just give them a loss, go on their way, but we wanted to, you know, have some, what's it called? Not superstition. we wanted to have just we just wanted to have it in stone, so that way any scenario that pops up, we have a reaction to it and something we can reference at least. Most times you just kind of like, did it show up? Yes, no, okay, cool. Other times, you know, some people argue they schedule more than the other person and blah blah blah. I'm not going to count the time it takes for you to schedule your game. So, along with all of this, absence reporting, I don't really see this a lot in other leagues. This might be PBO exclusive. I might be too in my own head. Absence reporting. In the Discord, there's a channel to report your absence. If you're going to be gone longer than 2 days to 1 week, if done correctly, you will still receive a loss, but you will only lose 2 differential and will not count as a strike against you. If you miss 2 weeks, then you will lose 3 differential. This also is exempt from the forfeit system because you did, you know, if you can't play your game, I'm not going to punish you by -3. You only get punished by -2. Which, you know, one, as we've seen in PBO and a lot of other draft leagues, 1 diff is sometimes the difference you need. Yeah. Stats. Before starting, or as you are starting your game, we ask that you post the link to watch it live in live announcement channel in the Discord. This allows people to watch your game live, which builds hype as well as a sense of community. Mods will also commonly record your game live, or will record your games live and live comment for the PBO YouTube channel, which you should sub to. I mean, if you're already watching it now, just sub to it now. You're like right there. Hit the like button. Did it pop up? Did it become all sparkly and rainbowy? If it did, do it. That's pretty fucking cool. For your battle to be considered complete, you must upload the replay to the corresponding channel in the Discord. This allows mods to rewatch the game, to collect stats such as kills per Pokemon, differential, and more. If the replay is not uploaded, the game is considered to not have happened and must be replayed. But if both or one player can remember everything that happened, that will work with no replay. If for some reason, you know, that happens like that. Working together. As I said in the beginning, we encourage players to build, mock, and do everything they can together, except coaching. If I found you to have being coached live in the PBO, you're kicked immediately. That's lame as hell. Don't coach live. Let the player play and learn on his own. Playoffs. To qualify for playoffs, the final standings for the regular season will determine your rankings for playoffs. To qualify for playoffs, you must be one of the top 8 teams in your division. If there's a tie between teams for playoff qualifications, tiebreakers will be determined in this order. It goes by differential for tiebreakers, then head-to-head, did you beat them or did they beat you, and then strength of schedule. Take all your opponents and their win-losses, add them up, whoever had the hardest strength of schedule, you break that tie, which we did have to do for the first time in Season 7 last season in the Neon Division, where St. Louis ultimately broke the tie over Sydney Sylveons. The structured playoffs. Unlike the regular season, playoff brackets are determined by the players. In playoffs, the player with the best record in the regular season gets to choose the player they go against in the first round of the playoffs. Then the player with the second best record in the regular season chooses their opponent, and then the third. The remaining teams play each other. Playoffs are structured in a single elimination bracket. Players play their chosen opponent, and if they win, proceed to the next round where they play the other winner of the previous round on their side of the bracket, and this repeats until we crown a champion. Transactions. Transaction can be defined as a free agency swap or pickup, 6 total. Each coach gets 6 transactions for agent pickups per season, usable up to week 6. Transactions are defined as whenever you add a Pokemon to your team, not dropping one. For example, if I drop a Loden Executor 40 points, quotation marks, and Articuno 60 points, so I can pick up a Barraskewda 100 points, that counts as 1 transaction. Any mons you trade for, whether it be a player-to-player or a free agency, that Pokemon must stay on your roster for 2 weeks minimum. So after you obtain a mon, it must stay on your roster for 2 weeks minimum. There are unlimited player-to-player trades up to week 6. However, no more than 3 Pokemon may be swapped between teams in any given trade. After which point, those 2 coaches may not make any more trades with each other that week. Both coaches are still able to trade with other coaches. All involved coaches must clarify that they agreed to the trade, whether it be DM confirmation or confirmation in the trade chat. The 2 involved in the trade must show proof that they agree. The 2 plus involved. You might get a 3-team trade, you know what I mean? All trades and terror swaps must follow the prior roster rules: 10 to 11 mons and 1250 points. Content, here it is. Feel free to make your own content regarding PBO. We have a channel you can find on YouTube. When posting content, we ask that you use the correct role, the @media role, so that no one gets spammed. Regarding your own content, we ask that you try to best keep up with the current season, aka not uploading Season 3 content while we're in Season 8. Shouts out Orange. We can't enforce it, but we would like it if you could. Furthermore, we also ask that the PBO logo be present in the thumbnail or add us in the description somewhere. When posting content, you can use the @media role to ping people who have indicated they are interested in keeping up with PBO content. I know I posted to Reddit. Some of you joined from the YouTube Discord link. Like, make content, whatever you want. Do what you gotta do. Promote other content in the PBO. Even do that. Promote other leagues in the PBO. Join in, tap in, and chill out. If you'd like to host an event, post a link, or plug anything, please ask Soren first. If you find this, which should be easy if you read it, post and emote 3 times in general chat and add Professor Soren Flying to let me know you've read this doc. There it is. As for your own involvement in PBO content, we'll be making the following content that may involve your drafts, draft analysis, live com, watch togethers, pick'ems, power rankings, and everything else. Now for the final bit of this rulebook overview. We have the Bubble Juniors clause, which Mug, the Sunnyside Screamtails / Sweetcombs, is not allowed to draft Fion. This is a joke clause. It's not enforced. And if you read the final thing, comment it down below on what the final thing said. And then award qualifications every season in the off season of the PBO. We do awards for Mons, MVP, most improved players, stuff like that. Worst Pokemon, best Pokemon, overrated, underrated, all that stuff. And in between the week of semifinals and finals, an award presentation will be held for all qualifying Pokemon. A Pokemon can only be qualified if it has played at least 3 games. Thank you for joining and reading these rules with me, and we hope you enjoy your stay in the PBO, and shouts out Don for writing this rulebook. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to subscribe and be excited for PBO Season 8, which should be starting the 17th of February 2025. Bye everybody. Soren flying out of here. Whoa.